While the man stared intently at Zhang, his body began to emit a powerful green aura. The people around him were drawn in, sensing his strength, even from a distance. They could feel the intensity of his presence and began to wonder just what level of awakened he might be. When they saw him speaking with Zhang Chen, their curiosity grew. Was there a conflict brewing between the two? As the man continued to lock eyes with Zhang, the pressure became palpable. Zhang started to feel uneasy. It was strange, this man had been silently pressuring him for a while, and he couldn't quite understand if this was some kind of test. Suddenly, the insect mother appeared, licking her finger as she approached Zhang with a murderous gleam in her eyes. She told Zhang that this man was a threat to him and, to her, he seemed delicious. She wanted to devour him. Zhang's instincts kicked in, and he realized something was off. His fears were confirmed when several warning windows from the system popped up. The insect mother had detected a threat, and the system flagged this man as high value for devouring. Just as the insect mother prepared to attack, Zhang's body released an even stronger aura, a defensive response. The powerful energy spread in all directions, and the students who had previously mocked him were now stunned, covering their faces, sensing the cold, sinister aura emanating from him. Zhang was furious. With a cold, murderous look, he stared into the man's eyes, realizing that the insect mother's aggression increased when her devouring value was low. He knew he needed to find monsters for Little Nine to devour as soon as possible to prevent a full-on conflict. Despite Zhang's overwhelming aura, the man simply smiled. Zhang quickly deduced that the man was trying to test his strength but had unintentionally activated the insect mother. Fortunately, Zhang had enough control to suppress her, though it was only temporary. A system window appeared, confirming that the insect mother had been suppressed and that her devouring value was now low. To prevent this from happening again, Zhang knew he would need to start devouring and breeding the insect mother as soon as possible. The man, hands still in his jacket pockets, observed Zhang with admiration. He complimented Zhang, saying that despite his recent awakening, he was already capable of facing challenges and countering them. He added that Zhang was worthy of a divine awakening and that his future was limitless. Zhang, still silent, felt a sense of relief he had not been discovered. He then approached the man, locking eyes with him, and asked who he was. The man smiled and introduced himself as Jai Gang, the leader of the Night Watch. He praised Zhang's strength and extended an invitation to join them. This caught Zhang off guard. The Night Watch? He hadn't expected such an offer. Jai Gang explained that the Night Watch was an elite organization tasked by Grzia with fighting demons and beast hordes. They were always the first to respond to new threats, whether they be waves of beasts or newly discovered realms. The mortality rate for the Night Watch was extraordinarily high due to the dangers they faced, and most people stayed away. But for Zhang, this organization seemed like the perfect fit. The insect mother needed a constant source of monsters to devour to grow her strength and breed. Zhang needed opportunities to confront large monsters, and once the devouring value was met, the insect mother would begin reproducing. The wild nature, filled with dangerous creatures, would be an ideal place for breeding. Joining the Night Watch would allow Zhang to deal with these threats efficiently. The students around them murmured that the Night Watch had a notorious reputation, and most avoided it due to the high mortality rate. They were sure that Zhang wouldn't join. However, Jai Gang assured him that those rumors were from the past. To entice him further, he promised comprehensive training and resources befitting someone with Zhang's divine rank. Without hesitation, Zhang shook Jai Gang's hand and agreed to join, telling him that there was no need for further explanation. As he stared into Jai Gang's eyes, he remarked that the Night Watch's generation should not shy away from their duty if they hoped to restore the organization's former glory. Zhang then explained that he was willing to join for this very reason. Jai Gang, though surprised, was now more intrigued. He hadn't expected the situation to resolve so smoothly. What he didn't know was that Zhang planned to use the Night Watch to help with the insect breeding. Just as Jai Gang was about to ask more questions, the insect mother appeared again, furious. She sent another system notification to Zhang, expressing her dissatisfaction with Zhang's decision. She still wanted to eat the man. Zhang quickly became nervous and closed his eyes. He had no choice but to admit that she was right. He excused himself, claiming he had an important task to do. As he distanced himself from Jai Gang, he turned his head and waved goodbye, telling him he would be at the Night Watch headquarters in 3 days. Jai Gang remained silent, perhaps puzzled by the simplicity of the interaction. He had forgotten to ask Zhang what hidden profession he had. Just then, 2 men descended from the sky, landing near Jai Gang. One of them was the 8th elder of the martial arts academy. Jai Gang turned toward them and quipped that if they were there to recruit from the Night Watch, they were too late. The elder, however, was focused on something else. He asked where the person was who had awakened a divine rank creation class. Jai Gang, now confused, turned to the elder, asking what he meant. The elder, with a surprised look, responded, wondering if Jai Gang was truly planning to let a divine ranked creation class awaken join the Night Watch, only to face certain death. It was then that Jai Gang realized the true nature of Zhang's awakening. Meanwhile, in the city, a man named Uncle Wang approached Zhang, asking if he was the one responsible for the phenomenon in the main city. Zhang nodded. At the same time, a woman with purple hair approached Uncle Wang, warning him to lower his voice, or risk facing dire consequences. Uncle Wang leaned back, placing his hands behind his head, closed his eyes, and started laughing. He told Zhang that he always talked non-stop. Zhang approached with a smile, closed his eyes, and reassured Uncle Wang not to worry, saying this wasn't anything embarrassing. Uncle Wang turned toward Zhang and said that while the creation category couldn't fight, he'd heard that companies often cultivated spiritual plants requiring people from the creation category. If Zhang's parents were here, they would be proud of him. Over the years, Zhang had survived thanks to the support of everyone in his building. Smiling, he assured them he wouldn't forget them in the future. Uncle Wang waved off his words, saying there was no need to worry about such small things. Then, he added that Zhang had arrived at the perfect time. They were about to enter a beginner-level secret realm to gather equipment. Uncle Wang invited Zhang to join them and level up together. Zhang accepted, thanking Uncle Wang. At that moment, a system message appeared, confirming the team formation. A few minutes later, Zhang and the group stepped through the portal, entering the secret realm. With his hands in his jacket pockets, Zhang looked around, wondering if this was really the interior of a secret realm. Suddenly, the torches lining the walls flared to life, signaling that the matchmaking process was complete. The monsters within the realm turned their attention toward the group. This secret realm, known as the Temple of the Dead, was classified as C rank and currently open. It boasted a 100% drop rate for items and equipment, with experience points calculated upon completion. Leaving midway meant forfeiting both rewards. Uncle Wang tensed upon realizing the monsters were undead soldiers. He questioned why the system had assigned them to such a high-level dungeon. Zhang studied the undead soldiers, quickly understanding that this realm would not be easy. A girl with purple hair stepped forward and explained that because Zhang was a divine-ranked awakened, the celestial system had assigned them a more difficult realm. Uncle Wang turned to her and reminded her that Zhang had awakened in the creation category. Another girl, with brown hair, approached and asked if they should abandon the realm. Before she could finish, Uncle Wang unsheathed his sword and cut her off. He declared that such opportunities were rare, and with Zhang here, their chances of getting good drops had improved. Seeing Uncle Wang draw his sword, the undead soldiers became enraged. Uncle Wang charged forward, instructing Zhang to stay back since these monsters were more dangerous than typical C-rank creatures. As they advanced toward the dungeon's core, Uncle Wang struck an undead soldier with a powerful blow to its head. He called out to Zai, urging her to enhance his talent. Without hesitation, Zai clasped her hands together, activating her power, and Uncle Wang felt himself grow stronger. With this boost, he swiftly dispatched the undead soldier. As the battle raged on, Zhang stood at a distance, watching. He wondered if these people fought monsters daily just to survive. Seeing them covered in wounds made him realize the hardship they endured. His gaze fell on Zai, who had always supported him. He recalled hearing that she became an adventurer to heal her brother's eyes. Determined, Zhang resolved to grow stronger and properly repay them once he earned enough money. While Zhang was lost in thought, the insect mother manifested beside him. Resting her chin on her hand, she gazed at the fallen undead soldier and expressed her hunger, wanting to devour the corpses. Zhang smirked, knowing that Little Nine had already detected the bodies. Deciding to test her abilities, he stretched out his hand and activated the level 1 poison barrier skill, Corrosion. A poisonous mist formed in his palm, and he ordered Little Nine to feed on the corpse. She thanked him as the toxic fog spread, enveloping the fallen monsters. Within moments, the corpses disintegrated. Zhang observed how the bodies corroded upon contact with the mist, confirming its potency. After devouring the corpse, Little Nine's devouring value increased to 10 points. However, since these monsters were weak, her growth rate was slow. She needed to consume more. With one hand in his pocket, Zhang turned back toward Uncle Wang and the others. They had already advanced deep into the dungeon, proving their strong teamwork. Since the poisonous mist was an area of effect skill and Zhang still couldn't control it precisely, he chose to follow from behind, taking care of the corpses. Suddenly, Little Nine called out to him. She sensed something. Zhang turned to the side, noticing more monsters emerging from the ground. Little Nine whispered that she smelled fresh blood in that direction. These creatures were level 10 shadow lurkers, stealthy hunters that preyed on weaker adventurers. Each had 20 strength, 15 agility, 10 defense, and 5 stamina. Zhang stared at them, wondering why their names appeared in red. Was it because their level was higher than his? However, their stats were inferior to his, thanks to his skill enhancements. A status window appeared before Zhang. Devouring value, level 1. Identity, Lord of Insects. Occupation, Divine Rank Spiritual Master. Talents, Growth of All Things, Divine Evolution, Ancestral Tree of All Things. Insect Mother, Little Nine, Miasma Wing, Natural Calamity Level. Equipment, none. Stats, Strength 35, Agility 31, Endurance 27, Constitution 20. Combat Power, 41 stars. Abilities, Experience Return, Passive, Attribute Enhancement, Passive. Devouring Value, 100. Experience, 0. Zhang decided to test his skills further. He stretched out his hand and commanded Little Nine to transform into a poisonous mist and follow him. She obeyed, dispersing into the air, sticking to the ground at that moment. The creatures known as shadow lurkers surged forward, closing in with terrifying speed. Without hesitation, he brought his hand close to his face, releasing a faint green mist, Little Nine's poisonous essence. His eyes remained sharp and unwavering as he stared at the advancing monsters. In a flash, he sprinted toward them, his movements swift and calculated. The creatures lunged, claws slashing through the air, but he was faster. Dodging their attacks with ease, he weaved through their ranks, making brief contact with their bodies. Instantly, the poisonous mist seeped into their flesh. The shadow lurkers hesitated, their gazes fixed on the eerie substance spreading across their skin. Confusion turned to panic as they realized something was terribly wrong. Watching them intently, he slowly extended his hand before clenching his fist tightly. A sinister smile crossed his lips as the mist thickened, corroding the monsters from within. Their agonized screeches echoed through the dungeon as their bodies slowly crumbled into dust. Little Nine's poison worked relentlessly, consuming them from the inside out. Without a word, he turned away, his expression unreadable, as the creatures fell one by one. Suddenly, glowing system windows appeared before him, displaying his latest rewards, 200 special points gained. Glancing at the remains of his foes, he smirked as he noticed his devouring value rising rapidly. These creatures had been no match for him. His strength was growing, but this was only the beginning. Before he could fully process his victory, Little Nine's voice echoed in his mind, warning him that more blood food had appeared behind them. Turning his gaze, his expression darkened as even more shadow lurkers emerged from the darkness, their menacing presence even more overwhelming than before. Yet, he remained still, hands in his pockets, unmoved by the looming threat. A flicker of concern crossed his mind. Were the others safe? With so many creatures lurking in the dungeon, he needed to finish this quickly. Without wasting any more time, he turned to Little Nine and asked if she could handle them. Slowly, she emerged from the poison itself, her mist swirling like a living entity. Reaching out a hand toward the trembling creatures, a sinister grin spread across her face as she assured him that these monsters were nothing but small prey. The thick mist spread further, engulfing the battlefield as another massacre began.